Hello everyone, it's me, Austen, and I was just checking my comments recently and one of them was a picture of Mario and Luigi kissing. Harassment. I'm gonna call the Nintendo police. I think I know their number.
You've reached the IRS?
Well, until I can get a hold of them, let's talk about this damn plumber. Mario has been a staple in video game history dating all the way back to ancient times. And with every single Nintendo console, Mario, in some form, has been on there at launch, defining every single era, even to this day. But it's been nearly 6 years since the last Mario game. If we don't get one soon, I'm gonna go feral. And with the last game being Mario Odyssey, I can only wonder, what's next? Are we gonna get a whole new game or are we gonna get Mario Odyssey 2? Well, to know that, we have to look back and really understand how we got here and how Mario came to be to properly theorize the next game. And it all starts in 1981. Nintendo released Donkey Kong to the public and the world has never been the same. As the title implies, it was about a donkey. What? This game is a lie! So this donkey decides to kidnap some lady and now you, an Italian plumber, I guess, have to jump to the top and save her. But oh, watch out because he's throwing some goddamn barrels at your face. Jump, climb, and run to the top. This was a pretty straightforward game, but man was it fun, and boy was it really popular. And by popular, I mean that the amount of arcade cabinets sold totaled nearly $1 billion after 2 years. Jesus Christ! Turns out the public really likes fictional apes. But on a serious note, this game, it was incredible. I mean, it pioneered the platforming genre, which Mario ultimately ended up becoming. In 1985, Super Mario Bros. Came out for the Famicom, a brand new home console from Nintendo, and then a month later on the NES for us Americans. This game was monumental, and it still holds up as one of the best examples of a platformer game to this day. But here's the thing, right before it came out, we had the video game crash of 1983, which felt like this for gamers at the time. And when the NES came out, marketing itself more as a toy rather than a video game console, it did pretty well. Because of this, so did Super Mario Bros. But that could just be because it was packed in with Duck Hunt at the time, which kind of an odd combo. Either way, it did fantastic and set the stage for Nintendo's biggest franchise and proved how innovative video games could be as a source of entertainment. Just walking through this world, you get a sense of what they were trying to convey and exactly how they wanted you to feel, even if it wasn't photorealistic. Now, there was a game in between Super Mario Bros. And Donkey Kong. That game was Mario Bros. Wait, so what was Mario Bros? Well, it was an arcade game developed in 1983 where, whoa, hey, they're actually plumbers. This game wasn't really a home console game. It literally was meant to be played over and over again as an arcade game. Basically, bad guys come from here and you gotta stop them. This is also Luigi's first appearance in a game according to Nintendo, and he'll play a pretty significant role in the future, but we'll get to it. Now, this was just the start. I mean, great visuals, great gameplay, great sound, great everything. Why stop there? How about we barely try? Super Mario Bros. 2 was a, weird game. So this was kind of similar to the first one, but it was actually just a reskin of the game Doki Doki Panic, which came out in 1987 in Japan only. Those lazy bastards, I want my money back! Now, I must give credit where credit is due. The graphics were great, the music was sick, and it was more Mario. And who's complaining with more of the same good thing? Remember that. But let's move on to Super Mario Bros. 3. Now this is where it gets good. Nintendo was getting pretty comfy with the NES, and so in 1990, we got the third installment of Super Mario Bros., quite literally setting the stage for how far games could go. The game had incredible graphics, feeling so much more alive and fully thought out, and on top of that, they became more and more comfortable with experimentation within the genre, and expanding upon the vision they had had before. Nothing fundamentally changed between this and the last two games, so the format was sticking to this 2D platformer, but stuff like the Tanuki suit proved that experimentation was happening, leading into the question, how could accessories change the gameplay? Remember that as well. This is also where we first see a world map in a Mario game, which would become a staple in other Mario games in the future. Now, the platformer games were pretty cool, but let's give Mario a goddamn PhD. Dr. Mario, such a cool guy. I mean, he gave me a 1-up mushroom one time and a diagnosis for HPV. Imagine Tetris, but with funny looking pills and a slight gameplay tweak. Released on both the NES and Game Boy in 1990, this game is arguably one of the first Mario games to spin off from the platformer games, and this would become a common trend in the next generation, and especially in the future, but we're focused on the here and now, and oh my god, I have gonorrhea too? Now, there's a lot more that came out for the NES, trust me, but we're just focused on the mainline things. What have we learned? Well, as far as the Mario games are concerned, not much is changing, but you can see how every single one was improving off of the last. Sure, it was more Super Mario, but nothing crazy different, with some slight gameplay experimentation and accessory ideas. This is helpful to piece together the next game. But now let's move on to the 90s. And what better way to kick off the 90s than with the Gulf War? In Super Mario World. God, I love this game. What an amazing way to continue a series, especially a relatively brand new one. Featuring a full-blown map as a direct improvement from the last game, with an incredible amount of detail and charm, as well as worlds that feel so much more lived in, music that just gets me going, and incredible gameplay that holds up extremely well, even to this day. I can't think of a better upgrade. Super Mario World, in my opinion, is the real definitive start for Mario. I know, the other games came up before it, but it was mostly just running around a confusing plumber's fever dream. This game took a deep dive and established a world of its own, and it started to be more creative with the universe that we were now in. With new power-ups like the Cape Feather, which is objectively the best power-up in the history of Mario games, the Giant Mushroom is a close second. This game showed just how much could be done with the platformer genre and video games in general. So now Super Mario is an established series at this point, with the main improvement being diverse worlds to choose from, which is also a pretty big staple for every future Mario game going forward, which is amazing. What can't Mario do? Follow traffic laws. Super Mario Kart released a year later on the SNES, and honestly, after pioneering the kart racer genre, it's been the only one to do it correctly. Instead of typical racing games at the time, which were boring, Mario Kart was meant to be a simple and fun experience with less of a focus on realism. Well, unfortunately, I got a charge for reckless driving, whatever that means. I was just having fun. Well, until I can get out, let's get some painting done. Mario Paint released in 1992 for the SNES alongside the SNES mouse accessory. This is pretty straightforward. It pioneered the MS Paint genre, and legend has it, Mona Lisa used it herself. It's painting all right, with lots of fun things to keep you busy and expand your creativity. Surprisingly, Nintendo has never remastered or made a sequel to this game. I mean, even in the mid-2000s, it still would have been worth it, even though Mr. Bill Gates and Steve Jobs had come along and ruin everything. God damn it!
I'm Bill Windows. In this video,
Austen be really funny.
Super Mario All-Stars also came out, featuring all three of the original Super Mario Bros. Games, including Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels. What were the Lost Levels? Well, they were just more of the first game, but with added difficulty that Nintendo thought we Americans were too stupid to complete. How dare they? What's interesting, though, is that All-Stars didn't just package these games together. It improved upon the graphics a significant amount to utilize the power of the SNES. So at this point, already Nintendo is packaging old games together and selling them, which they would end up doing again for the Switch, so I think we can cross that possibility off for the next Mario game. Now, there were some other games on the system, like Super Mario RPG and Mario's Preschool Fun, but I want to focus more on the mainline Mario games and how this could shape the next Mario game. But before we move on to the N64, there was a sequel to Super Mario World. The name? Don't get too excited. That's right, Mario is still going, and while I don't have too much experience with this game in particular, I must say it looks absolutely fantastic. But it didn't do a crazy lot to expand on the platforming genre at this time. But that would all change with the N64, Nintendo's first home console fully capable of 3D. This is where it gets good. Surprisingly, we only got one mainline Mario game this time around, and that game was Super Mario 64. By far the most impressive and innovative examples of turning a 2D series into 3D, right alongside Zelda himself. I don't think I need to say much, as I'd just be repeating what everyone else has said for the last 30 years. This game is incredible. Not only did we get a truly deeper dive into the world of Mario, but we got to find out what he was capable of. Now we don't just have pretty backgrounds, we're walking through them. This game needs no explanation as to how it differs from the previous games. It was a monumental leap in gaming, something truly revolutionary. But the spin-offs kept getting crazier. Of course, we got Mario Kart 64, and while the original Mario Kart gave a somewhat believable illusion of 3D, this actually was 3D and continued to explore the vibrant world of Mario with really creepy blinking animations. I don't like this, I'm going home. Mario Kart 64 is certainly not the best in the series, far from it, but it paved the way for what we have today and truly inspired creativity for the genre, which is untouched to this day. Well, except for Garfield Kart. Get the fuck out of here, Mario. As well, we got 3, count 'em, 3 new series spinning off of Mario. And what better way to start than with Mario Party? Mario Party pioneered the party genre of games like it's been doing with a ton of other genres, and it spawned something that we would end up loving, hating, and then being okay with. Released a little later in the N64's lifespan and receiving 2 follow-ups, this game proved to be an instant hit. And like with the kart racer genre, this is the only series that has been doing the party game genre correctly, and it's staying that way to this day. Next up, Paper Mario. I don't have that much experience with this game or any of the follow-ups, but this was certainly a unique take on the Mario series. Because I don't want anyone to complain that I have the wrong opinion on Paper Mario, I'm just gonna leave it as this. Good game, cool genre. This is so easy to pirate. Also at this point in time, Mario got into sports and experimented with Mario Tennis and Mario Golf. Now these weren't your average run-of-the-mill sports games. These actually were pretty expansive on the sports genre and provided so much more exaggerated and fun gameplay instead of just the most boring game imaginable. Like, who cares about golf? I'm not George Bush.
Now watch this drive.
But then we move into the 2000s. Luigi! That's right, Green Guy's the main character this time with an impressive dumpy to show for it. Luigi's Mansion kicked off the GameCube, and it shook up Nintendo's legacy of sticking with Mario to sell a system, trying a whole new gameplay mechanic, and shaking up the characters as an experimental game. This did not help Luigi's case. Yeah, Luigi's Mansion, while it's an amazing, amazing game, was definitely very experimental and received pretty mixed reviews at the time. It explored the idea of unique 3D environments, whereas Mario 64 was just trying to figure out 3D. Luigi's Mansion honed in on making the world more detailed, charming, and creative. And man, did they give him a nice ass. Now, before we get to the big one for the GameCube, we definitely have to give a shout out to some of the spin-off titles here, like the Mario Parties, which are objectively the best ones in the series. A sequel to Paper Mario, a new sports entry with Mario Superstar Baseball, Super Mario Strikers, follow-ups to Tennis and Golf, and Dance Dance Revolution, if you say so. But as far as mainline Marios go, Super Mario Sunshine popped into existence. And now Mario has a new place to discover, Isle Delfino. While the setting changed to a tropical vacation, this ultimately was just building off of Mario 64, slightly experimenting and not doing anything too crazy new. I mean, it certainly was a big new leap for Mario's 3D adventures, but it's nothing we hadn't seen before, just in much better detail and much more thought out and creative. But now we have the inclusion of Flood. This was the first experiment into giving Mario a new means of exploring and interacting with his environment, and it was made pretty clear that basing a new Mario game off of a new mechanic or crazy environment change was the way to go if they wanted to keep this up. Mario Sunshine is definitely the biggest mixed bag in the mainline Mario series. Some people love it, some people hate it, and some people just don't really care. It's good. I mean, it's not amazing, but it's pretty good. I specifically enjoy the Fever Dream levels, which made no damn sense. And God, the fruit in this game just looks so juicy. I just want to munch on these nanas. I think if Flood wasn't included in this game, it would just be considered Mario 64 2.0. I mean, literally, that's the only big difference between the two games. But around this time, the next Mario game was already technically being conceptualized with Super Mario 128, a tech demo for the GameCube designed to show the power of this damn square. The floor would convulse into a spherical shape, and Mario and all his friends were able to traverse this excellently. Now, this would serve as the start for Super Mario Galaxy, one of Mario's biggest adventures yet.
Super Mario Galaxy!
I'm in heaven! Super Mario Galaxy was the newest addition to the Mario franchise, and you know what I said earlier about a new Mario game needing, I don't know, like a big mechanic change or a big environment change to feel different? Yeah, this had both. Super Mario Galaxy took the world by storm. It released on the Wii, which is definitely one of the more, successful consoles from Nintendo. You can thank Alvin and the Chipmunks for that. Super Mario Galaxy felt amazing. It was basically, to me, Super Mario 64 times 100. I cannot recommend this game enough. In this game, as opposed to the last two 3D games, you were allowed to travel from planet to planet effortlessly, or as the game likes to think, galaxies. Whatever, it makes up for it with completely unique gameplay that has never been done this well before. It's incredible just how much they pumped out, to the point where I would consider this game perfection. And then they made another one. Oh my god, they gave us more? Never had we gotten a sequel to Mario 64 or Sunshine, but this one, oh my god, I couldn't think of a more deserving game to give a sequel to. It really was just more of the original game. Almost nothing was different, but I love it just as much. This made it clear that sequels within a generation can still happen. Remember that. I can make an entire video because I just can't get enough of these games, but I want to know how these could potentially explain the next Super Mario game. Now, there were some other spin-off games. Mario Kart was definitely a showstopper, but I prefer Double Dash. But in this generation, games like Mario Party, they started to slow down a little bit, which is a sign of uncertainty to come in the future. But before we move on to the star of the show, 2D Mario is back. That's right, New Super Mario Bros. Was a brand new refresh to bring Mario back to his roots in a fully redone 2D platformer just like the originals. And oh my god, these games are so damn good! I don't know what Nintendo was on when they made this and Mario Galaxy, but I need it. This did 2D excellently and it was fresh. We hadn't seen something like this on a console at least for several years, and it was sorely missed. Returning to form was definitely a great move, but I'm glad this just wasn't the main Mario game for the system. Now, if a basic Mario game was the main selling point of a system, man, we'd have some real issues. God damn it. You've gotta be kidding me. Okay, before I get hate comments, I just would like to say this. This is not a bad game. Super Mario 3D World was just there. It existed, and it had its own charm to an extent. I'll give it that, but this was not an exciting follow-up to the last 3 games, all of which tried something brand new, exciting, and with lots of experimentation. This game, meow, you turn into a cat. Holy shit, the Wii U sold so much, they don't sell it anymore. I don't know what Nintendo was expecting. Did they think this game would sell very well? Like, yeah, it's Mario, he's gonna sell well no matter what, but did they really think this would carry the system? It's not bad. Again, I'll say that. It's not bad. The problem is just how undone it felt. This was not a leap forward. If anything, it was kind of a step back. Alongside Zelda, the Mario series was relatively dormant for the Wii U, and nothing unique or interesting came out. It felt like Nintendo was giving up. I mean, this Wii U certainly was, good lord. I just think, come on, they couldn't have found a way to make this second screen interesting, like, at all? They couldn't have had a game where, like, the TV is one perspective and this is, like, another perspective, or anything creative with this, anything. Regardless of what you think about the Wii U, they definitely skimped out, and this was a massive missed opportunity. Oh, in 2D Mario, they got real damn creative. Okay, that's enough. These were fine because they were at least a new thing when they came out on the Wii. We hadn't seen high quality 2D Mario in a while, but what the hell did you do differently? Nothing! Oh, in the Luigi-ified version, this was like the first time Nintendo lost money. Now, Nintendo did do something pretty unique on the Wii U. I'll give them this. Super Mario Maker. Yeah, they pretty much said, here, you want a fun Mario game? Make it yourself, damn it. This used the gamepad perfectly and really showed how impressive the Mario series could still be. So why did they wait until 2015 to release it? This was a good game though. I have no issues with it. It's just interesting how this is really the only one that did something different, and we're the ones who had to slave away. Yeah, it's safe to say that this game failed. I mean, I love it, don't get me wrong. I don't think it's a bad game at all, but it came nowhere near 64, Sunshine, or Galaxy in terms of creativity, enjoyment, or excitement. These feel like experiences. They were a bold new format each and every time. And we wouldn't see anything this experimental until Super Mario Odyssey. Imagine the rent. Mario is back, and he's back for a whole new adventure, this time doing a world tour in his giant ship. Jesus. Traveling the world in never before seen kingdoms that ooze creativity and charm, providing an adventure that feels so well thought out and detailed. It's incredible. Now, not everyone will agree, but I think this is just as far up there as Mario Galaxy. I know, but you gotta think, they really went outside the box with this one. So many amazing and unique worlds that we haven't seen before. The Cap Kingdom featuring a super stylized world introducing you to your new friend, Cappy. Cappy allows you to have a fully new gameplay experience that turned this game into something amazing. Without it, it would have just been a pretty standard, if not kind of boring Mario adventure, but this new gameplay mechanic is incredible. Something we've never seen before, and God, did they do it well. I'm a goddamn pole. What have you done? On top of that, you can hit things with your hat. You can bounce off of your hat. I seriously can't believe they thought of this. What a genius concept that adds so much more gameplay variety and creative new endeavors, even 20 years after 3D became the norm, when everyone had already been experimenting with 3D games. Somehow, Nintendo kept up the innovation. And all of these new locations are so unique. They're so special. They're so new. This game has so much going for it, and yes, I have 100%ed it. That's how good it is. There's so much to do. The gameplay feels fresh, the quality is superb, the worlds are unique and fresh. I don't know what else this game needs, and I don't get the hate for it. Okay, maybe not hate, but I've seen quite a few people think that this game isn't really anything special, which I don't know what more you want from it except for them to add more and build upon it, like a sequel. Wait a minute, before we talk about the next Mario game, let's take a look at the spin-offs really quickly. Mario Maker is doing fine, but Mario Kart is dead, Mario Party is dead, Mario Sports are dead, Mario Paint is still dead. What is happening right now? Why is Mario Odyssey the only fresh and new Mario game in the last 8 years? But more importantly, where is Mario Kart 9? Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is a repackaged version of the Wii U game with barely anything different on it. We haven't seen a new one in almost a decade. You'd think they would have thought of new ideas, new maps, new gameplay modes, ways to revitalize Mario Kart, but nope, it's now a subscription service. Shoot me when you get the chance. I'm really bummed that this is the only mainline Mario game we've had since Super Mario Galaxy, and everything else is just boring now. Unless the next Mario game. Yup, that's right. The moment you've all been waiting for. What's next? It's been close to 6 years now, and the Switch is either gonna get a successor or a hardware upgrade within the next 3 years. I can feel it this time. The Switch is now the best-selling home Nintendo console ever. You'd think they would make more games. You'd think. But here's the thing. Nintendo really only has two options. A sequel or something brand new. With such an exciting and innovative game like Mario Odyssey, I can only imagine a sequel is next in line, because just like they did with the original games, and especially the Galaxy series, just do more of what worked. So how would Nintendo go about Mario Odyssey 2? To start, you have all of these kingdoms, and you can do even more with them. The kingdoms are there. We love them. The vibrance and charm are displayed in each and every one of them. What's the reason for not expanding upon it? Who wouldn't want more Mario Odyssey? Personally, I think Mario Odyssey 2 is right around the corner, but I've been thinking that for a while now, and it's not working out. Now, the other option Nintendo could do is just start fresh? They're not gonna do that. The only reason Nintendo would start fresh and create a brand new Mario game is if they moved on from the Switch, and I don't really see that happening, which that's a topic for another day. But I think Mario Odyssey 2 is literally the only thing left unless Nintendo comes up with some brand new innovative way to play. I can't see anything else happening on the Switch. The worst part is that we have no leaks, we have no rumors. Odyssey 2 is their only realistic option here, and even then, what are they doing? No teasers, no confirmation of a new game in development. I mean, it's Mario. We know they're making a new Mario game, but it would be nice to know. Come on. You told us about Metroid Prime 6 years ago, and we haven't seen anything but, oh, Mario is so secretive. Either way, I'm excited for the next Mario game, whatever it is. It could be an amazing new adventure filled with loads of new opportunities and creative endeavors, or the more likely case, just continuing off of Mario Odyssey and expanding the universe, creating more memorable worlds and experiences. Or it could be Super Mario Bomb. Well, I would have chosen a better name.